Miss Liz, tea time, yeah. Making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Miss Liz, tea time, yeah. Making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. So be sure to grab your tea, grab a seat, and tune in to Miss Liz. Tea time. Making a difference, one cup at a time. Tea time, yeah. Tea time.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is tea time with Miss Liz, and we are here having a morning tea. But today we have a double show. So this evening, tune in again at 7 p.m. because we have a second guest. But this morning we have the incredible CEO and creator, developer, Tara Lynn Towns for the Bully Buddy app. So that's right. We're going to do some bullying app awareness this morning, and we're going to have a really deep talk. So before we get started, we're going to do the disclaimer, and we're going to do a quick bio intro, and then I'm going to get Tara in here, and we're going to sit back and we're going to serve you a good, strong cup of tea of awareness today on bullying. So the disclaimer for Miss Liz's Tea Time live shows. Miss Liz myself is going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name as StreamYard.com. Please be advised that the content brought forward for any Tea Time show hosted by myself, Miss Liz, is always brought forward in good faith, however, may bring forth dialogue and opinions that are not representative of my platform. The facts and information are perceived to be accurate at the given time of airing. All Tea Time guests and audience participants are responsible for using their good judgment in taking any action that may relate to the discussion. The content brought forward may include discussions for some where they may be emotionally at risk, and it is significant to know that this show is engaging in discussion forums only to offer and inspire awareness and connection and is not providing therapeutical advice. If you have any questions about the disclaimer or the panelist discussion, you may freely contact me, Miss Liz, through my email at bookingmissliz@gmail.com. Moving forward, should you choose to voluntarily participate in today's show in any aspect, I, Miss Liz, welcomes you. And should you decide that the show is not made for you at this time, I respect that and I will see you at a later show at a later time. Now, let me get the bio and let me pop in Tara Lynn right after. So, Tara Lynn is the CEO of the TBB Enterprise, is an impassioned speaker, author, motivator, innovator, inventor, and developmental therapist. With a master's in family and human development from Arizona State University, she has over 20 years of seasoned experience working with women, children, and families as a whole. With a BS in child development and many years of professional life coaching and counseling, Tara is passionate about being positive example and acceptance of to all mankind. As a philanthropist and mentor of the Women's Welfare to Work program and founder of the Tiny Be Mighty, which we'll speak of this morning, Terry was recognized by the California and Connecticut State Senate and Congress for her participation and work. When her son Corey was diagnosed with a condition known as, I'm going to get her to say it because I can't say it, acroplopia or dwarfism. I'll get her to mention that later in the show. There was a little doubt in Tara's mind that her son was born with a mighty purpose. Tara has embarked on a personal endeavor to raise awareness about dwarfism and offer a resolution for bullying. Tara and her son wrote a book and started a nonprofit, Tiny Be Mighty, and work directly with families who have children take their lives as a result of bullying. Thus, she invented a new cutting-edge app called Bullying Buddy to serve as a solution to bullying and adolescent suicide. App is in both Apple and Android and in every school in the USA. We would love the opportunity to explore possibilities. There is so much more that her team is doing to save children's lives and combat suicide and bullying. So let me get this incredible lady in here so we can have a deep talk on the awareness of bullying and all of that good stuff. So let me welcome Tara into the studio. Welcome, Tara. It's nice to have you here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And I'm going to get you to say that word that I have a hard time saying some words.
I did too, Miss Liz, when he was born. It's achondroplasia.
Oh, I wasn't even close, was I?
I wouldn't have known it if I didn't have a child with it.
It is a very hard one to mention, isn't it?
Definitely that.
So I want to get into this morning a little bit about you, Tara, before we get into the bully buddy. As a child growing up and all of that, and being who you are today in the organizations and stuff that you work with, what brought you on your journey in life?
With who introduced me to my journey actually was my son Corey. So because he was bullied for having dwarfism, and it's been a very, very long journey, especially in the beginning, um, that's what opened me. And I always say he introduced me to my calling. When I was a child, though, I was bullied as well. So it's funny how we can sustain something. I can't even talk this morning.
It's a tongue twister morning here.
No, sustain something.
We don't have enough tea in us
Oh
yet.
my goodness. Um, as as I didn't have my decaf coffee yet.
Oh, she's a coffee drinker.
sustain sustain something. But it is interesting though how we can sustain something as a child ourselves, but kind of forget about it all during our life and then be reintroduced to it through some sort of a situation or a person or something that takes place in our life to open us up to what we're supposed to do here on the planet. So that is what put me on my journey to be a crusader for saving lives, empowering people, and showing the world what empathy and love really, really looks like and how we can use that to combat negative things.
I love that you say empathy and love because I'm big on that. I think we need a lot more of that in the world today.
Yes, we're missing that.
And it is, and like you said, as a child you were bullied as well, right? So the alignment of the past, bringing it into the present, and then the future and the awareness and all that. So let's get into your team, and then we'll get into the bully up because I just feel like I'm being called to get your team this morning first, and then we're going to jump into the bully buddy app. And for all the viewers and listeners out there, let us know where you're tuning in from, and if you have a question that's related to today's topic, I will put it up so Tara can see it. And if anyone would like to know where you can find Tara, all in the audio portion of Tea Time today, you can find it in the description. And during the show, you'll see the locations where you can find Bully Buddy and all of that good stuff. So, Tara, what is your tea this morning?
My T is teaching empowerment and announcing. So my A stands for a big announcement.
Now, do you want to get a little bit into a little bit more why those words are being called to you?
Yes. Part of what I do through my nonprofit and just in general in my purpose is teaching. I'm teaching, I'm raising not only awareness, we do have a resolution for bullying and violations that people sustain, but I am teaching. I do parent workshops, I do workshops for admin, students, I do, bullying workshops and presentations for kiddos. So I am a teacher in what I do. I definitely, anytime you learn something, you are empowered. So that word really just came up to the top, to the surface, because everything that I stand for, even when I learn something, I'm a student as well, a student in life. I always want to be so that I'm learning every day and growing and remaining humble as I'm doing so. So, a lot of what I offer and do is definitely empowerment. And then I'm being empowered myself as I share with people. I think the best thing that a teacher can do is always be a student while they're teaching. So that's would explain the empowerment part. And then announcing. I think that we all have something to say. We all have something in our beings to convey to the world. And it just came to me that the A is, and the T today is just announcing something to the world, something that will assist us in really combating, once again, the negative forces out there, and will really save and change lives.
I like that you put the word assist with announcement, because I think that the announcing is assisting awareness, and
Mm.
bringing that stronger voice to the table, being a overcoming bullying, and being the awareness coach and teacher for bullying and all that. I feel that the assistance is there, so those words all align as well. So now let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into the Bully Buddy app and how it was created, when it was created, and how you decided to make the app.
So once again, my son Encore, who is a powerful speaker at 14, and he's been speaking since he's 7. He turned his pain into power. So he, once again, he introduced me to my purpose. But because he was bullied, a lot of things took place. It shifted my whole career path. I didn't know, once again, that I was going to be doing any of this, but I am. Um, just seeing him come home with missing skin on his face because children were stepping on the back of his feet because he was way smaller than them. And this was in the 2nd grade. So to them, he looked like a preschooler, right? So they're taking advantage of how much bigger they were. They were holding things above his head. They were calling him monster and ugly and what is that? And, just things that children should not be saying to anyone. Never mind another child, their peer, but they shouldn't be saying this in general, especially a second grader. So anyway, along the way, the most powerful thing happened, and as I'm being pushed into my purpose and being groomed into my purpose, which began 7 years ago, I was introduced to moms along the way who have lost children between the ages of 7 and 17. And as a mother, and then a woman on a mission, and having someone who's going through what took their child's or children's lives, it was just something had to be done. Now, mind you, I don't really, out to this point now, I'm very tech savvy, but not then. I used, technology for speaking on my phone or texting or emails. That was it. And then here I am with the app. That's why I know it's a divine order. It is what I'm doing here. So anyway, long story short, there was a mom. What really catapulted me into the app excuse my voice too, I'm just getting over a little cold and upper respiratory situation and air
Oh,
infection.
you sound good, girl.
But
Take
I
a
know.
sip of coffee. I'll let you have a sip of coffee.
but there was a mom who, when I was watching TV one day, and there was a mom on there who lost her daughter in um, Aurora, Colorado. And she's pleading on TV saying, there's an app for this. These are her exact words. And there's an app for that. And she's crying and yelling, but where is the app for this? Mm-hmm. And so I said, you are absolutely correct, Mom. I'm saying this to her. And I sat down with no technical capabilities that I knew of at the time. And I began in that moment, literally, I sat down with a piece of paper and I began to say, what would I want in an app that could save my child from this, or anyone from this? And as it's amazing when you do step in to your purpose and you wear your purpose shoes, is what I call them. Your shoes will convey to you and invoke things that you never knew that you had inside of you, because that is what's been sitting in there the entire time when you're unaware of what you are to do here on this planet. And so that day, and that was 5 years ago, the birth of the app came about. Now, the app, that was the idea. The journey to get it here it took 1 year. And so last year, I hired a development team to work with me, and I obviously I'm the IPs behind everything, and we work together as a team. They're the technical back end part that I have no clue to do, but we birthed the Bullying Buddy, and it is available in Apple, Android tablets, and we so happy to say we have an adult version coming out in just 2 weeks here called Stomp. It's behind me, and we're just so excited. This app is really going to do big things as far as saving lives and educating people and empowering people.
Well, it's like you said, right? You had an announcement coming. You're assisting, and the stomp is coming. So get ready for that. I'm going to be sure to check that out as well because I think that we do need adult awareness as well. Um,
Definitely.
when we start educating the adults, I think we can start educating the children as well because it does start at home, right?
Yes, definitely.
So I want to ask you about Corey. When was Corey diagnosed with dwarfism?
So Corey was born with dwarfism. It is a genetic disorder that you are born with. And excuse me, when he was born, there's a funny story behind the word that you had a challenge with and that I had a challenge with. So when he was born, his head was much larger than his body, obviously. So that was a concern to the doctors, and they did a lot of testing. And the doctor came in the room and he said, your baby is very healthy, but he has achondroplasia. Now, I obviously could not say this word, and I'm a new mom with all of these emotions, and anything with plasias, I just think of like blood cancers, and it just sounds like something like that. So
Yeah.
I this loud cry, and the doctor's like puzzled. He's just standing there, and I'm like, ah, like, what is it? How long does he have? And he's like, what?
Well, when you don't know, right, you automatically go to the fear of, okay, I don't understand what this is.
Right.
What's going on? How long is it going to take? Like, how do you fix it?
Exactly. And that is exactly he giggled a little bit and he smiled. He let me get it all out. And he said, your baby has dwarfism. Okay, I had to give you, scientific terminology. And I said, oh my God, it just sounded like a blood disorder, like, and he's like leukemia or something. He's like, no, he laughed and he said, no. He said, your baby is just going to be smaller than everyone else. He said they could have complications and different things like that, but he could live longer than you, all of us. He'll outlive us all. That's what he said. And so I immediately calmed down and I immediately got to work. I wanted to investigate what is this, so I started, researching as soon as I got home on the condition, how to say it, you know, and how to handle and cope with what I was going to be faced with. I will say this, it is not easy and it's not a walk in the park by any means. For me, my son, and the family, he has endured a lot from kids and adults. To be honest with you, adults stare, point, laugh. Very, very, in the beginning, I'm saying, very surprising to see that. But then we wonder why our kids today walk around and do the things that they do. Kids come here as a blank slate. So they are sponges and they are modeling what's in their microsystem and their external environment. So I honestly, will say, and I have a new book coming out, Are You Raising a Bully? It definitely begins at home. And I'm not blaming parents because I'm a parent coach. So, but I do want to empower parents and let them know you are responsible for what and who you are raising and what you're putting into your children. You have a responsibility, even if it's not you and it's the daycare or a cousin there around or what have you. It's still your child, and you have that responsibility to make it a positive experience for them so that they can make it a positive experience for others.
I truly believe that, Tara. I believe that it is the home environment, but it could be generation cycles as well, patterns, that has been passed down. If this
Yeah.
is what this grandmother taught this mom, and then this mom teaches that child, and then that child teaches that. It's just a really bad cycle and a
Yeah.
bad ripple, and we need to start breaking those and saying, look at, let's stop putting the blame on the teachers and the community. Let's start putting the blame on the homes sometimes.
Yes.
I'm not saying all homes are bullies, but it does. Whatever we're teaching, whatever we're feeding our children is what they're actually feeding the world. So let's start being good parents and being good role models and examples at home.
Yes, I agree 150%.
So this book that you're talking about, Are You Raising a Bully? When is that coming out, Tara?
This book will be out the end. Well, we're between the third week of December and the end of December. So I will be presenting, excuse me, the app, the book. I also wrote a curriculum to Congress in January. So we're excited about that because we're taking this on the federal level so that the app, curriculum, and book can be available in every school in the United States. And then we also have things brewing globally. I'm really not awake this morning.
It's too early for a tea, and she's drinking coffee, so you need to start sipping on that coffee, girl.
Oh, but globally, we just had a young lady that took her life, 13, in Italy yesterday. So that was disheartening to know, and we are reaching out to our family, and then we have things brewing in Croatia and Dubai and Australia and all over. I mean, people are bullied and violated everywhere, so it's a world issue.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, Tara, that it's everywhere, because that's what the message that I'm trying to get out there is that it is a global problem. It's a global issue. It's not just Canada. It's not just USA. It's global. It's around the world. People are being taught and putting this ugliness out in the world all
Yes,
over. And we need to start bringing in some nice stuff and start having some more empathy and love in this world. Not
yes,
just in the United States, not just in Canada, but in the world. We need more of that humanity, understanding and supporting one another
absolutely.
again. I want to get into so the book that I have on your poster is Are You Raising a Bully, correct?
I believe so because that is my new book coming out. I do have a book called Tiny but Mighty, and that
Okay.
book, yes, that book is a children's book. It's in stores now. It's in Barnes and Noble in Georgia and Arizona. It's online. It's even in Walmart online, and so we're happy that we got in there. And it's an empowerment book. It's not just a book about bullying. It's a journey that a little prince takes, and it's Prince Encore, my son, and it's a story. It's a beautiful story. It encompasses love. It encompasses overcoming diversity. It encompasses finding your true self, your warrior and hero within. I call it your giant within. And so that book is out now. Are You Raising a Bully? Once again, will be out. I'm saying in roughly 2 weeks. We're in the last stages of printing and editing and all of those things. So it is done. And I'm so excited to share this and announce this book to the world because this book is like the Bible. I'm a Christian woman, so I'm not, you know, being sacrilegious here, but it is the Bible of if you want to know what drives the psyche behind a bully, a target, the assistant. I name a lot of characters in the book. We just focus in society on a bully and what society calls a victim. I don't use that word. I call it a target because we want to be victors of our circumstances, not victims. And so the book breaks down 7 types of bullying, 6 roles in bullying, the micro system in the pre-operational stage of development, which is 2 to 6. I mean, it's an amazing book that I can't wait to share with the world. It just came back at a review, and this is a gentleman who reviewed it who has, edited and reviewed many best-selling books, and he said he would be very honest with everything as he should, And he just said it was very powerful. So that was exciting. It was really exciting to hear that feedback from someone that does this, professionally.
Are you there, Tara?
I'm here.
What happened? But I'm back, and I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay.
So I lost you in you talking about the Tiny Mighty book. So if you'd like to carry on from there.
Yes. And so I just was saying that it's an empowerment book for youth. It doesn't just encompass bullying, it encompasses coping skills and love and empathy and unleashing your giant within, identifying your giant. Because I think that's really important for youth. We want to tell them, oh, you're great, you're awesome, you can do anything you want, but they're kids and they're saying to us, like, okay, so how, right? So we have to train them on identifying what they're great at first, and then they can unleash it to the world. So this book it's a really cute story, and it's in this prince and there's queens and kings and giants and different things. It's really a cool book. So Are You Raising a Bully is the next book, excuse me, that will be out in about 2 weeks before the end of December. And I was, explaining how this is like the Bible to, understand the psychology behind bullying, the types of bullying, the players in bullying. There's not just a bully and a target. There are many people. There's the watcher, there's the assistant, there's the promoter. I break down all of these characters in the book. And then I also break down parenting and the microsystem that can raise or support a bully and how to redirect it very, very early. And then also, too, finally, a resolution the app, the curriculum. The curriculum is called Be Brave, and it is an empowerment tool, but it also is an empathy-based and SEL-based curriculum. So that's the core of the curriculum. So I'm excited to extend all of these tools that we have over here to the world to use.
Well, and again, I want to apologize for that. The technology always takes over sometimes, and we have no control over that, right?
It's
So now I
okay.
want to get into the Bully app. I want to kind of pick out some of the things that I've seen on the website. So the workshops. Do you want to say and share a little bit on the workshops and the education and all that you
Yeah.
provide?
Yes. So I do workshops nationally. I just did one in Scottsdale, Arizona. And the workshops are empowerment workshops, but they encompass, once again, not only awareness of bullying, because I think we all have that. So I don't, if you notice, I don't even say that a lot. We know what's going on. I'm tired of using that word because what is happening after we're aware of something? What's the resolve? What's the action plan? So in the workshops, I do experiential workshops. They are absolutely amazing. The results that we see are just awesome from them. People are just blown away by them because they are role playing. There's games, there's activities, and it's not just for kids either. This was adults that I actually did in my last workshop. I will be in Texas soon doing another one for admin, teachers, admin, parents, and the kids. So I break up the different groups. I do parenting workshops, I do the workshops with the adolescents, and then I do workshops for the people who care for our kiddos so that they understand what does bullying look like, even the types that people are not really familiar with, social bullying and racial bullying and different things that they really don't reference when it comes to the youth. Society focuses on physical and verbal, but we're well past that. Cyberbullying is leading in the reason behind why the youth are taking their lives. So that and social and relational bullying, where the youth they're taking each other's friends away or they're ruining reputations. Those are devastating, and that's what is really taking our kids from us today. So those of that's just like an overview of some of them, and then I have independent workshops once again that I do with parenting styles and education on identifying certain things in your children very, very early so that we can correct it early. This is all, we can redirect all of this. So we don't have to raise bullies. We don't have to tolerate bullies, and we don't have to raise targets because there's another side to it, right? We focus on the bully so much, but why is a child allowing this to happen to them? So it's broken down in the book, but those are things that I cover in my workshops.
So, and you mentioned as you were answering that question, Tara, you mentioned a couple of the stages of bullying, the different um, you on the website you have 7 types of bullying. If you'd like to share that with the viewers and listeners, just because some might not even be aware of the different types of bullying.
So we have physical bullying, and that's obviously what everyone knows. And then we have verbal bullying, and that's another popular one. Now we're stepping into cyberbullying because we're seeing, where it is going and what it's doing to our kids, and excuse me, the devastation it's causing in families. And then we have relational bullying. And this is very important because this is what I'm seeing. This is 7 years of this journey of talking with youth, gathering data. Like, this is credible data that I'm speaking of here. Relational bullying is huge and it's undermined. So anyone listening who works with children or parents, it's undermined. And this age, especially middle school, we're stepping into our identity developmentally. That calls for us belonging to a social setting that is not our parents. We're not cool anymore at that age. They love us. They'll come back to us later on. But it's now time, to say who society, what do I belong with? That's that. So we also have racial bullying. A lot of kiddos, we have a high rise in African American children taking their lives in this age group, 7 to 17, behind racial bullying. So we have relational bullying, which is once again removing the relationships away. And then we have sexual bullying. And I bring this up as well because a lot of the institutions or even parents, they're not aware that there really is such a terminology and an acknowledgement legally with this type of bullying. And sexual bullying, it can be anything. It can be a little girl going to school and the boy keeps throwing her skirt up so everyone can see her. He's not touching her. He's just wagging on her skirt, but that's humiliating. It's devastating, right? Sexual comments, even on in the youthful age of middle school. I just, met with the family yesterday, and the little girl was saying some of the things. The boy touched her breast, or he, referenced that her breasts were too small. That's something that's going to bother you emotionally, which is the last type of bullying, emotional bullying. But that's something that's devastating to you developmentally, right? So that's another form of bullying that's not really honed in on in this age. We want to kind of put that in the adult place, right? Workplace bullying, sexual harassment, but this all begins in this stage. And this is what I really want to convey in this book, and the message that I want to announce and have received is that the pre-operational stage is 2 to 6. That's before we operate as a human being, right? So this stage is detrimental to us developmentally on how we're going to show up in society. So if we catch things early enough and we correct them and redirect them at 2 years old, you're not going to have someone 10 years old showing this behavior or receiving this behavior. So those are the 7 types of bullying.
Well, I really appreciate you bringing in the sexual part of the bullying with the bullying app, because we don't speak enough about it. And a lot of children are being bullied into doing acts that they're not comfortable with, because it's the peer pressure of the bully, right?
Yes.
So why are we not bringing that awareness to the table? Why are we not bringing these topics to the table and sharing these things? So I want to thank you, Tara, for adding that on your website as well and bringing that awareness, because I think it's deeply important. Yes, everyone knows about the physical bullying and the verbal bullying. Those are the top ones, right?
Yes.
And like you said, the cyber bullying, we're getting into a lot of that now, because a lot of people are hiding behind screens and just, being who they think they want to be, and they think they can get away with stuff, and we need to bring awareness to that. Now, with this app, you're bringing awareness to suicide, and you talked about suicide a few times this morning.
Yes.
With this app, how do we prevent the suicide numbers?
That's a very good question. And so there's 3 ways. Number one, within the app, and we can in a few minutes get into excuse me, the actual functionality of the app. But inside of the app, that's why I named it the bullying buddy, the buddy in your pocket. It's a tool. Not only can you be educated, if you're thinking about that, right? Before anyone commits suicide, there's what we call pre-contemplation, before it actually goes into contemplation and then the action. So this is where you're just kind of tired and you're a kiddo and your adults are really not stepping in the way that you need them to. And you're just kind of thinking about things. You're surfing around on the internet. You're talking to friends or not. You're just trying to see. So in the app, there is what we have. It's called the information station. So within this app, a kiddo or adolescent can go in there and they can research. You can also connect directly to, obviously, the suicide prevention hotline, but you can connect directly to therapists. I have a whole register of different therapists in different communities. I even broke it down to cultural, because a lot of people do feel more comfortable with seeing a therapist that is maybe a female if they're a female, or a male if they're a male, or if they're Asian or Hispanic or African American or Caucasian. They feel more comfortable with that. And so I broke it down culturally in the app. In the app, you are able to, and this is the big thing, you are able to speak to someone, right? Because there's a chat in there without everyone knowing. A lot of kiddos, we're losing them, even just emotionally. I'm saying it doesn't always have to be the fatality, but we are losing a lot of kids right now, adolescents. But we lose them because number one, they don't even know really all of what's happening to them, right? They don't even, this is why it's important to identify the type of bullying. How could you even communicate to your mom if you're sitting here saying, what is this? I don't even know why he keeps humiliating me or took away my friends, or what word is that, right? So people
Yeah.
can't speak up for themselves if they don't know the terminology. So it's very important within the app. If when you open it, you see the kids right there with the 7 types. I mean, that just like hops out at you within the app intentionally. And then what hops out next is, the suicide prevention hotline and the different things that they can read about themselves. Because believe it or not, our kids are savvy and we know that. But they're doing research before. They don't just sit there and hop out a window or go into the
Yeah.
closet. And I'm a little edgy when I'm interviewed, because we need to know that children are hanging themselves from their bunk beds and closets. So that is something that's premeditated. So this is why the app is such a game changer, because it's going to step in where we're not connected to them initially and allow us. It's connected to the parent and the school. So that immediately what's going on with your child. I mean, in zero time, in real time, you get to see the videos or the pictures that they upload. You get to hear audio of what's going on, and it's locating your child, and you get to know exactly what, like, no longer will we say that we didn't know it was happening in the bathroom. We didn't know I only have a certain amount of teachers on the playground. You're going to know now, though, with this app. So this is how we prevent suicide. Number one is to even be aware that our babies are upset about something clinically, not just the usual, right? I've had so many of these moms beat themselves up. And I mean, these are amazing mothers. It's not anything that they did, but that guilt they walk around with every day, because they're like, Miss Tara, I didn't think it was that serious. I just thought they were down, or I thought they were just a little bit sad because someone was bullying them. I didn't know. You will know with this app, because your child will know. Once again, they cannot communicate to you. They're not wanting to talk. Are you kidding me? They want to tell us everything. But there's so many reasons why. It's formulating that dialogue. They're kids. How in the world are they going to say, I'm thinking about not being here? I mean, some of them do, but a lot of them don't. It's a quiet storm. It's a silent killer. And then at the end, when they're out of pre-contemplation clinically and they're in contemplation, going towards action, I want to say this clearly to everyone today. People who want to die have a plan, okay? And they execute that plan if there's no intervention. And a lot of them won't tell you, but they will show you signs. They will. And that's also in the book and in the app. There's so much in the information station about all of these topics. So this is how we're going to reduce, because we'll catch the bullying in real time, right? So they won't feel like every day I have to go to school, and this is a true story, get my head put in a trash can every day for 2 years. Okay, obviously, who wants to do that every day for 2 years? You mention it once or twice, your mom and dad said, oh, they're just bullying, it'll get better. And the school does absolutely nothing. So what is this child going to do? They're going to take it upon themselves. They're adolescents, and I want to say this to any parent who is facing this, or any child or adolescent that a parent shows this to. They don't want to leave here, but it's their only option when they feel isolated, to where we're not intervening, right? Enough to support them. And support is not just telling them, I love you, you're awesome, you're powerful. That is wonderful to do that. But it's showing them that you are there from beginning to end to redirect that bully's behavior off of them, and not by violence. If you have to go to the Supreme Court to get the superintendent in, whatever you have to do, I'm serious. You got to do it. And these babies need to know that we're doing that as a forceful unit to protect them, because they literally feel like they are. I also counsel and work with children who are suicidal because they're being bullied. So I'm speaking from their voice. This is not just me. I am a clinician and I do have a lot of education and degrees and all of that, and that's fine. I don't even, if you notice, this is my first time mentioning that because that's not what's important. But I have the real life experience for almost 7 years now of these children and adolescents, and this is their voice. This is what they're communicating to me. That's why I want to share it with parents. It's very, very important, these things that they're telling me.
So Terry, you mentioned that the app is in all schools in the United States. So do you go into the schools in the different states, or is it a program that is given at the beginning of the school year so that the children know that the app is out there? Like, how did the children find out about the app?
Yes, and we're not in the schools yet. We are working our way in there. This is what
Oh, okay.
Jan meeting with Congress and the Department of Education is, very, very excited about it. And so there's just a lot of things taking place. It has not taken place yet, but it's about to. And yes, I do. I do go into schools, especially before the pandemic. Obviously, it shut down a
Yeah.
lot, but it also gave me time to focus, the year on the development, because it's not easy making an app. I will tell you that. But the awareness that we do, or yes, I'm sorry, the question was, do I go into schools? And yes, I do. I just went into a school. I also have a training center, an anti-bullying and empowerment training center in Bayonne, New Jersey, and it will be open. The doors will be open late March, possibly the first week in March, but we're being realistic, late March. But I'm so excited. This is an actual institute that um, teaches all of the things that I teach, nationwide. But this is specific classes for the bully, for the watcher, the person who I call the watcher in the book, but it's the bystander, the assistant, the person who assists the bully, the promoter, the person who, yeah, do it more. These are top. We don't even say these things to our children. They don't even know who they are in the bullying scenario. If it's not the target or the bully, then there's really not a conversation. Well, along the way with my research, I discovered all of these other characters. And when children identify with how they're showing up in it, you would be amazed. As I said, these workshops are amazing. They were so powerful enough for me to say, we need to open up an institute to where people can come from all over. So we're so excited about that. And the classes start from age 3. It's not just middle schoolers. In my book, I talk about the pre-operational stage of development a lot. There's a whole chapter on it because I truly feel, with my personal research and my personal endeavors and just my clinical background, that we can really redirect this early where it's not hard. The longer a behavior persists, the longer it takes to reshape it and redirect it. So we don't do it when they get to middle school. Are you kidding me? They've been doing this all along. So we treat it prior. So that's something else that I'm announcing today. So see, that's why that word popped up, Miss Liz.
I told you it comes from within, right? And this is what we do. We serve our tea from within.
Yes.
And I can't tell my guests what their tea is because it actually does come from within them. And this is what we do is we serve the guests. We don't serve Miss Liz, we serve the guests. We serve these platforms and these educational solutions, and projects and things, living it and being part of it, understanding it, and then going and educating yourself on it and educating others is the announcement of, we can create the difference. And it's like you said, we all need to start stepping up and we need to start being a voice. And if we see there's an issue, you fight until that issue is fixed. You know,
Yes.
it's the battle of life, of change. Changing things is not easy. It's like you
No.
said, Tara, this app is not easy. I'm sure it has its struggles and its frustrations as well. And
Yes.
there's some tweaks and turn that you need to fix as well with the app, because there's always room to grow. There's always room to better something.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
So before we wrap up your tea time, we're getting close to almost the hour here, Tara. I want to know a little bit more about the stomp, because you said that the stomp is coming. And I think that parents out there need to understand that it does start with us. We need to start being the example. Stop looking at the society and community to fix our children when we can fix our children first and foremost. So I want to know a little bit more about this stomp app that you have coming.
Yes. So Stomp is done, and then we're now getting it into the stores. And what it encompasses is domestic violence, human trafficking, collegiate violations like date rape, different things like that, both male and female. I don't want to exclude males because I'm being enlightened a lot about the sexual harassment happening to males in the corporate place, a lot of them. Corporate bullying, uh, um, elder abuse, financial abuse, and racial abuse. So Stump is encompassing all of the violations that take place to adults, and the bullying buddy supports obviously adolescents from 0 all the way up to high school. And it will be in stores once again, both Apple and Android, and on the tablets as well. We are in phase 2 after the new year. We are going to be working on the watches. So I'm so excited for these apps to be on the watches so that you don't, if you are being violated, you don't have to pull out a phone, even though it's voice activated. Because I thought about everything when you're getting violated. Do you have time to sit there? But I will say this, yes, you do, because quite often we see all of these videos going viral, right, of all of these happenings. So someone had the time to take the video of it to watch it. So we have the time to protect ourselves, and it works in zero time. So STOMP's acronym stands for Stop Traumatizing Others Mentally and Physically. That's what STOMP stands for. And once again, it works just like the bullying buddy. You record both verbally or obviously manually. The person, you have 6 people, your husband, spouse, your sister, your neighbor. 6 people are in this app to support you. And when you are out and about and something takes place, if someone breaks into your home, if you're jogging and someone tries to rape you, immediately all you say is the emergency safety button, right? So that's the ESB button. It's a big red button on the app, and all you say is emergency or ESB. And you can say this quietly if someone's approaching you and you're feeling uncomfortable. When I tell you how fast your people will see what you're going through, it blows people away. It's a second. They can call you instantly. They can text you and say, I see it. What would you like me to do? Or they can just, if you're not able to do anything, they can call the police to where you are, and it tracks for up to 10 minutes. So people who are being abducted, this is going to be a game changer. This is going to be a world game changer. This is why people are able to get away with this stuff, is because we don't have anything working in zero time that informs other people that can be your hands when you can't, right? So if you are getting beat up, or if you are getting your neck stepped on, or if you are getting raped in the park when how can you? Obviously you can't sit there and, hey mom, you don't have to do that with this. It just, you whisper, or you even touch it. You don't even have to talk, and your 5 people in the app see what's going on and can jump right in there.
That's going to be a huge game changer, and I'm glad that you brought in that males are included,
Yes.
because we need to start speaking that there's a lot of males out there that are suffering in silence because we are putting them to the side, and we're only, well, this is female workshop, we need
Yep.
male workshops too. So I thank you,
We have
Tara, for
them.
mentioning that, because I'm a big believer it's both sexes. It's not just
Yes.
one, it's both. you know
Absolutely.
And if we have a child, we have a son, we have to be giving a strong message to our boys and saying, you matter too. Stop
Absolutely.
just saying the girls matter, the boys matter too, because those
Yes.
boys are going to turn into men one day.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we do offer the workshops for males as well. And I have partners, and I have some former NFL players who do amazing workshops and classes, and they will be coming to the center doing that, working with student athletes who are being bullied and just males in general. I do them as well, but I also think it's powerful when you have successful men, jumping in there and getting this message across as well.
Well, you're doing an amazing job, and I want to thank you again. And Tara, I want to thank you for reaching out to be on Tea Time, because we do need this awareness out there. And I want to thank everyone who has tuned in today and just
Yes.
listening to the awareness, because we do have these incredible apps out there. Start using them, start looking into them. You know, um, as fast as you put a game on your phone, you can put this app on your phone too. So let's think of it that way. It's a game changer. It's really going to make a difference. And let's really encourage the people that are bringing these platforms and programs to our eyes as awareness to start using them. So, Tara, any final words before we wrap up your tea time?
I just want to say thank you to Irma, my PR person, and thank you, Miss Liz, just for having this. Awareness is definitely the thing, but exposure is really, really how we get into the homes of all of the people worldwide to use this app. And I just want to say, parents, I'm not here bashing bullies. I'm not bashing parents. I'm not bashing admin. I'm not bashing anyone. I walk in the light of love, and my light, I want to shine it upon the world, because it is a gift to offer a gift or a resolution to something that I consider its own pandemic, living within a pandemic. I'm also here. You guys can reach me on social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn. I have a lot of people reach out to me on LinkedIn for the workshops. So the workshops, I can come to you, or you can come to my center after March in Bayonne, New Jersey. So I'm excited. I am just blessed, and I want everyone to have an awesome and amazing day. And I always say, love you and everyone else around you.
Well, thank you so much, Tara. Before we wrap up your tea time, we do have a question that popped up in the comments here, and it is: the Bully app supposed to be used before you call 911?
Is it supposed to be used before you call 911?
Yeah, that's the way that the question came in.
It can be. And actually, I forgot to mention a very important part. So thank you, who asked this question. There's a 911 right inside the app as well. So you do not have to dial 911. If you are in that sort of a violation, it goes direct. You can call them directly through the app, through your voice, or touching a little button that says 911. So yes, it is before you get to that place. But if you get to that place, it's the access to that is right in the app.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for that amazing question, because that is an important question to be asking, right?
Yep.
Because it might save your life. The app, you might be able to talk to somebody, and it might not be a situation where you need to call 911. Hopefully, we don't need to be calling 911. So, thank you again for that question. And that question came in from Twitch. So, thank
Oh,
you to that user for coming in and joining us today. And I want to thank all the viewers and listeners out there. Pass this along, share this tea time with others out there, and let's really open the doors and awareness on the Bully Buddy app. And again, Tara, thank you so much for reaching out and being on Tea Time. And I want to have everybody join me later on tonight at 7 p.m., where we have Dina Floyd Boyne coming in, and she'll be talking about humanitarian work. So we're really going to start pushing the humanity on Tea Time, because I feel that that is really deeply important. And for anybody who would like to know where Bully Buddy app is, all of the information will be in the description and is on the live video here. So, and if
right.
you want to just listen to the audio and pass the audio along, it is on going to be on multiple platforms. So check out for that. Check out for Tea Time, and give my YouTube channel a quick subscribe, and you can see all these incredible tea times. There is 174 tea times. So if one doesn't resonate with you, the other one will. I guarantee you that. So again, thank you all for joining me for tea time, and I'll see everybody tonight at 7 p.m. for a second tea time.
Thank you, Miss Liz.
You're very welcome.